Sorry, I'll change my background.
All right, welcome to Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails, episode, 15, 16, something like that. The party is now spread as thin as one pat of butter across an entire loaf of bread. And we're down Christopher as he's heading towards Etna once again, and for some reason didn't bother going through cold water to tell anybody that they split up even further. So,
but you know what? As Scooby, as Fred and Daphne said, if you split up, you find more clues.
this is true. This is very, very true.
Danger-prone Walt is going to get us into trouble, though.
Hey, I'm
So,
in the back.
why don't we, for now, focus back on the farmhouse? How does that sound?
Peachy.
Okay, so at the farmhouse, you just knocked on the door of the Strauss's abode, and you got the distinct sensation, just even through your knuckles, that the door, though certainly appearing like a standard door, has the feeling of, I guess you've probably encountered a coconut probably before, but
Every time we
solid.
ride horses.
That's right. Whenever you ride a horse, of course, but there's a certain almost sort of ripply, hairy, husky feel to the door. It is also dusk time. Dusk time? Sure.
I will go back to my horse and get my super lantern. It's made with 100% ghost rock extract.
Purely 100% ghost rock. But that I assume who did the knocking?
That would, I guess it was me.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because you own the land, Daddy.
I mean, if it's
Warbucks.
dangerous, I'm happy to have Walt do it.
Well, let's roll a die. How about that?
Oh, come
Cypress
on.
Wood, very
That's
dangerous.
It's his
fair
house.
way.
Walt goes first. It is my house. No, it's not my house. It's my neighbor's
Yes,
house.
but your neighbor.
1, 2, 3,
You're the
4,
one who's
5.
neighbor.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, it turned out Walt was the one knocking on the door.
Son of. Oh, I will haunt you.
Hey, I'm going to go back to the horses for a bit. You take care of that door by yourself.
So Walt,
Edward, I need your help back at the horses. Come with me.
Sounds good.
and you're like, huh. Yeah, maybe
I'm getting the heebies and the jeebies.
that does not feel at all correct.
Let me lick it. Maybe it's no. Just
That's
kidding.
not
I'm going
natural.
to kind of step back and be like, "What the hell?" Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. Dr. Trout, check for the knock on the door. See if it sounds kind of funny.
All right, so
Get right up next to
I'm
it.
back with my lantern because it's dark.
Okay,
lightning.
am I still alive? Did something terrible happen after I had the heebie-jeebies? And I'm like, this door is.
No,
All we find is his hand around the door handle.
I think that would be peculiar enough, and we haven't had many of them so far. Give me a sand roll, I think.
Well, no, I got an 80 and I rolled a 95. We're off to a good start tonight.
Good grief. Really? A 95. Okay.
I got
got
an
a double
89
up.
and I rolled a 95.
True. All right. You lose 2.
Okay.
Is it like it's
Now
not
I have a
just- it's
door
not just
phobia
It's
too.
not just like a bamboo door that I've never seen before. It's something strange.
No, it appears absolutely to be standard, a standard, at the time, wood door, sanded, so it should feel normal.
Covered with. It feels weird, but it looks normal.
I think it's safe to say that I'm having a little bit.
It's-
I'm having some issues right now.
Okay.
Kinda
Oh,
like,
so for us, it looks completely normal. For him, he's freaking out.
kind
Correct.
of going like.
Okay,
All
okay,
three of
sorry.
you, it appears
Uh,
to be 100% normal. And from the doctor and Edward's point of view, since you all haven't touched it yet, it is normal.
Walt, what do you?
But Walt is not behaving normally.
Correct. And has
All right, well,
requested one of you all to touch the door.
Okay,
I'm standing back as soon as you know.
touch the door.
Okay, so you reach out and
I'm-
touch the
A little bit of
door.
cowering going on my part.
And indeed, you feel the same thing. It feels like, as I say, sort of like a texture of a coconut or something husk like, has a husk feel to it. Give me a sand roll with advantage,
Yeah, my sand.
Yes, you can profit from my
Doctor.
suck
My
roll.
sand is not so good.
Yeah, but you know you'll make it. When I'm
I'm-
89 and I fail.
I'm as they say, damaged goods.
Not that bad.
Are you kidding me? My sanity's like oh shit, that's wrong. That's not right. Okay. My sanity is currently 76. Okay. I guess I did get better.
It's not
Yeah,
that bad.
I made it. I mean,
You made it.
twice,
Okay.
but I
Good.
made it hard check.
yeah, I can't resist. I will also touch the door.
Okay, fair enough. Go
Does it
ahead.
serve-
Same thing. Same peculiarity. Same roll with advantage though, so you get to roll twice and take the better of the two.
Okay.
Does it look like where my hand is touching is it the actual
Yeah, I'm
surface of the
fine.
door, or am I feeling something that is not visible?
He said it. He said it feels.
mean,
it looks normal. It feels husky with, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it the same surface? Are my fingers?
No, your fingers aren't like going through it or anything like that. It is, a flat surface.
Huh. All right. Well. So
Oh,
we
that's
did knock.
odd.
Did it make a normal knocking sound?
Um.
I mean, it was a muffled knock because it's.
Yeah, it's a little bit muffled, a little
No, he hasn't had antibiotics.
almost yeah, it would sound a little bit more like you were hitting something really actually kind of more solid than a door, maybe like you were almost like knocking on a wall.
Hmm.
Um
All right. Well. So we'll give it another set of knocks because I don't want to storm in on anybody's house without giving them adequate warning. Yeah, can either one of us step to the side and glance? Are we on a porch? Can we glance to the left, go to the left and right, and look through the window, glance through the windows?
you have not yet tried to look through the windows, but there are windows.
I'm
Hey,
afraid.
you boys check out the windows. I'll keep knocking.
Okay, you've kind of gotten over the sort of weirdness of the feel. It's still there on your second knock, but
Mr. Strauss, Dr. Trout, your neighbor. Is everything all right?
Dr. Trout, give me a listen roll, please.
Oh gosh, no. Heavens, no. Listening is not my.
Listening is not happening.
Not unless I want to spend 31 luck points.
Oh, you all should probably go ahead and do that recovery of luck.
Just
Wow.
luck there.
Everybody?
Yep.
Oh, I made it. Yes, I won. What do you get if you get it back? Was it
Holy
2d10
shit, I
plus
made
a
it.
10?
Wait, you want to fail it, right?
You
Yeah.
want to fail it, yes.
I got a
Then I
66 and my luck was 65.
Then I failed mine by 1, and it was
So if you
really good to start.
successfully
Should
failed,
I successfully failed, which is an achievement. It's
right,
which karmically balances my managing to fail my sand check.
that means you get 2d10 plus 10 luck points back, obviously maxing out at maximum total.
Aaron, I blown my good rolls because I
Wow.
rolled an 09 so I've got basically 29 more.
I have 100 luck.
Nice.
I'm
I
at
just rolled
94
16.
I'm at 94, but I plan on burning it quickly.
Did not fail.
Did not fail. So if you did not fail, you still recover 1d10 plus 5.
It's 2d10 plus.
2d10 plus 10 if you successfully fail.
Lord.
84.
That brings me up to 98.
Nice.
I got 100. I could have blown some. I guess I could have blown luck to make that sand check, but well, you know, it's
But
all
you're
good.
gonna need it.
I'm gonna
No,
need that
that's actually
later.
one thing you cannot blow luck on.
Yep.
Oh, so when you suck one large, that's the one to suck large. It's like you gotta swallow that 95. It's like don't.
Yeah, luck is to only alter your skills.
Well, in that case, I will embrace the suck.
So you can't use luck for like knowledge and stuff. It's got to be an actual trainable skill.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
So you can't use luck with like knowledge. You have to. It has to be a trainable skill.
It should be a trainable skill, yes.
Okay. Although my spell casting relies on some aspect of my knowledge, but that's one I can check.
Right, but you can tweak the base skill on it. So okay, so everybody's done their luck stuff?
Yep.
Okay. All right, back to the house. So looking through the windows, you look inside and it's a fairly, from what you can kind of see, is it is getting dark outside and there's no lanterns or anything like that lit inside the house. But it appears to be a pretty nice house, all in all speaking. Decent looking, somewhat simplistic furniture, but looks comfortable.
Wait, does Dr. Trout own this one yet?
It's rustic.
You should buy it.
Well, it's not even rustic. It's pretty nice on a family of moderate means in this time era.
This is the gambling guy that doesn't have a family.
Yes.
Okay.
And who preternaturally is lucky.
Let's go on in. You guys good to go in?
I'll go in last.
All right.
With my hand on my gun on my hip.
Marshall, the lantern I got, the Ghost Rock lantern, is it only good for a certain amount of time? I really don't know
You don't know yet.
I guess I'll find out. All right. Hopefully we have regular lanterns on our horses.
Okay, Steve, you are a little quiet for whatever reason. Don't know why.
All right, let me.
For a good
I was
time,
enjoying it. I wasn't going to tell.
For a good time, check out Lamp. I love Lamp.
Okay. So I'll got my lantern. I'll open it up, and then I will open the door. Push the door.
Okay. It is not locked, and you open the door and beam your light in. Has everybody else seen your new spiffy flashlight?
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, yeah, I strike it up while we're outside still, or I open it up, so it's quite. I don't know. How would you describe it? As a bright bluish light?
Yeah, it's a blue-white light. It's much like a modern-day white LED style light with a little bit more of a bluish hue to it. But it's not a light that you all have ever seen before. To be honest, it's a quality of light that it's almost weird to your eyes just because you just haven't seen. It's like, oh wow, that's really weirdly bright, dude. Kind of thing.
So it's like a neon kind of light. If you've never seen one before, you're like, whoa.
Yeah, I mean it's crystalline white almost, sort of.
Let's fire this baby up and see what we can see. Any blood? Anybody? Any bodies laying in the front hall?
No. You do. The only thing that really catches your attention is a little bit more of a of that smell of wood burn that you caught as you approached the property. It seems a little bit more pungent inside the house.
We saw no evidence.
Wouldn't that
of
be an
a
incredibly common smell in this time period?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess should we split up so we can find clues?
Excellent.
No.
Walt's not.
Let's just make it easier for the keeper.
So let's go through the door and turn right.
Sure. Okay. Entering the house, you're actually in what is sort of a partially. No, it's not an open room. So it opens and you're in kind of a long, kind of living room kind of area, and there's about 5 feet of wall to your right, and then there's sort of an opening And just from your all's knowledge of sort of standard construction of these style of houses, you would expect to see probably a dining room past that wall. You also see across this living room, so there's a break in the wall, a bit of a wall, a door, some more wall, another break in the wall leading to, you're not sure, and then a door at the far end, which looks like maybe leads to a porch in the back or something. I see your lips moving, but
Your
we can't-
mic's not on.
Oh, sorry. Is there any indications that anything is amiss here? Like, there's no
there's
lamps knocked
no
over or tables knocked over.
there's no tables knocked over. It looks very neat, as in the place was clearly well kept. Almost too neat, almost. Almost has that sensation of going into a modern day new house where they've set stuff up,
Staged.
yeah. Has almost that kind of feel to it, almost.
To give the appearance of a normal house.
I'm gonna walk. Okay, so the front door. Is there any kind of heavy furniture that I can prop the front door to make sure it stays open? Because I'm still a little freaked out.
To your right, there's a small table that just sort of flanks the door, maybe a place to throw keys or knickknacks or what have you. A little basket there. One of those kind of half moon style tables kind
Sure.
of thing.
But to do that, you might accidentally touch the fuzzy door, Walt.
I'm going to put on my gloves
Okay.
and I'm going to take the table and I'm going to put it such that it'll help prevent the door from slamming shut for whatever reason, because I'm still officially freaked out.
Okay, give me an idea roll while you're doing this.
Okay, I made a normal success.
Okay, you pick up the table. It's not incredibly heavy or anything.
Give me a sandwich.
But it almost felt like it was almost stuck to the floor before you picked it up, and then okay, normal weight. That was kind of odd. Yeah. Move it over to the door to keep the door open.
Okay. Do I think that would Walt, sorry, Dr. Trout, can I borrow that cool light of yours for a second?
Sure. Treat it carefully. It's
Oh,
very.
Ganza Bisasa.
it's
All right, I'm gonna
magic.
shine it. Well, I'm gonna step outside the house and I'm
Okay.
gonna shine it on the hinges of the door and see if they look normal.
Okay, shining on the hinges of the door. Let me think for about.
It's a big door. I mean, it should have pretty big hinges. And
Yeah, it's got fairly substantive hinges. You notice though that the door hinges are well. Give me a spot hidden.
alrighty. How much? What is with my average die roll tonight is a fix. All right, I'm gonna have to use some points here because
Like a
Because we
I'm
want you to
getting
not suck
annoyed.
quite that much.
I'm getting annoyed. Spot hidden. All right. Well, I'm gonna use 30 points
okay.
because it's just like stop rolling 80. So the love of God. Well, there's so much for my 100 luck.
Yeah,
Just like-
yeah. That's the thing. That
Just like
that
that.
will
All
go
right.
away real quick. Don't
So,
forget, also, if I ask you all for a luck roll, that goes off of your current luck. So if you blow a bunch of luck on stats, and I say, give me a luck roll, and you're down to like 14 luck.
you're
That could be
you're shit
unfortunate.
out of, comma luck.
Yes. you're
Just
shit out of
just saying. Okay, so you blow some
Yes,
of your internal pulpy.
I do because my
Yes.
sphincter is tightening and I don't want to fail.
And
So
the only thing that you kind of determine, and you what kind of gloves you wearing? Just like light leather gloves kind of thing.
light leather gloves, nothing, not like running barbed wire, just like riding
Right.
gloves.
It occurs to you, you take out a small handkerchief, which I'm sure as a gentleman that you are, you have in
Of course.
your pocket, and you pull out and you kind of wipe it amongst the hinge,
Mhm.
expecting
Oil,
you know,
residue,
yeah,
grease.
and you pull it out and you kind of look at it, and it's soot. It's not oil.
All right. At this point, I'm stepping away from the door and out of the house, and I got a bad feeling about this,
Hey,
Dr. Trout.
lantern, buddy, lantern.
I'm holding it to you. I'm standing in it's. Did anyone ever see 1408?
Yes.
The movie? Aaron, have you ever seen 1408?
I
No.
will say
Oh,
for the
jeez,
record,
good Jesus, you need to see that movie.
I will say
Aaron.
for the record that Dr. Gabriel Trout has not seen 1408, and he wants his lantern, please.
And well, then I'm gonna be. If anybody's seen it, I hold it, and I'm like not going into the door. You can reach outside, and
Suit yourself, Larrabee.
yeah, I'm still freaked out.
So let's make a quick search of the house. See if there's anybody in it.
Here,
Guys,
Edward, you up for that?
Guys, I just want to tell you that I got a really bad feeling that there's
I
not
think
even
it's
oil on
fine.
the hinges. There's soot on the hinges. Nothing
I
about
think-
that house feels right. I think you should get out. And I'm gonna try a persuade because I want to save my friends.
Okay, roll a persuade.
I'm gonna.
I'm gonna roll my stubbornness.
Holy fucking 88! Oh my God! Who did I offend?
It's the thing with the door. Yeah, with the thing.
The
You should
stutter
leave.
with
That-
the
that-
thing. I'm
that's
not
very
blowing luck
convincing,
on that. I
I
tried.
No,
All right,
He's a
okay,
these dice.
wordsmith, that
These
Larry.
dice are gone.
okay, you got Edward and Doctor. You do not
Gotta be
need to
kidding
roll
me.
a resistance against that.
Yes, because that was such a.
So
okay.
it does seem a little odd. Let's just make a quick search of the house and then get on out.
Okay.
All right.
I mean,
And-
do I feel like we're in danger? Should I draw my gun, or am I just feeling like this is a little strange?
outside Mr. Larrabee seemingly to be
Freaking the hell out?
deliberately cautious from your point of view. I mean, there's no particular sense of foreboding doom or anything.
All right. Well, let's
I
go to
have the sense of foreboding. too.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
go to
you
the
do.
Let's go to the kitchen.
Let's just
and
be
see-
really clear about this.
Let's go to the kitchen.
That and the
and see
fact
if
that
there's-
75 is my best roll of the night so far.
let's go to the kitchen and see if there's any food there. See if anybody's been here recently.
Okay.
If there's a rotten apple on the table or anything.
So
like that.
you proceed kind of through the living room, looking to your right through the first sort of opening. It's a dining room there, and then you also notice off the dining room there is another door, and proceeding through the living room to the second sort of opening that I described to your right. That indeed does lead into a kitchen. And at this point, as you're kind of facing the kitchen, so you've turned 90 degrees, the porch is now to your left, and it looks like there's a door leading to that porch from the kitchen as well as from the room that you're currently in. In the kitchen, again, old style kitchen. There's there is a sink. There's clearly room for preparation. There's stove. There's some wood there, and to your right, there's a door.
So I'm gonna make sure that at all times I'm aware of where the exit is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
right now
Paul's
your
got me a
fastest
little
exit
spooked.
would be through the.
Just making
back
a mental
porch.
note of where it is, so that if I need to get out in a hurry, I'm gonna head for the nearest
I
exit.
mean, when the lights go out and it becomes inky black and the room
Well,
gets
right now
cold.
we got good light. So there's a door. I'm gonna pull open one of the drawers, or is there like a cupboard or a bread box or something?
Sure. Yeah, there's lots of cupboard space. Yes, and
I'm just gonna go look. I'm looking for food. I'm looking to
Okay,
see if there's any food stored here.
I mean, you find utensils, you find food preparation things, but
No
actual food you do not find any.
No crumbs on the counter.
No,
It's
immaculately clean.
Piles of ash.
with the amount of dust out here is very hard to do.
Yes,
Okay, let's check out the door.
sure. Opening up the door.
Edward, was there anything weird about the title on this place? I mean, I guess you probably didn't do any searches of that. You just got the guy's name, right?
Edward, you did not do any cross referencing on that.
Yeah.
you must have a I mean, it's trying to think what you could maybe roll.
Well, there's no. I mean, it just looks like a house. There's nothing. There's no occult symbols carved over the
No, there's
doorway.
nothing along those lines.
Is there a cross on the wall?
No, there was a hex sign on the barn, but then again, there was a hex sign on probably at least 50 or 60% of the barns in the area.
Okay.
Opening
well,
that door, staircase leading it down to what you can presume to be a basement.
Well, let's check the rest of the floor first before we go there.
Okay.
And then there's a smaller door opening that just leads to a pantry.
Oh, so the okay. Well, again, we'll check every door. We're looking if there's a body in here, so we'll go to the pantry door and open it and just take a quick look inside.
Okay. Yeah, nothing in the pantry. You open the doors that lead out to the little not patio, but back patio, whatever. It is an enclosed glass back patio, kind of nice. But there are also windows in the kitchen looking out to the patio, so it was probably added on sometime after the initial construction of the house. And you check the door real quickly off the back porch, and it opens normally. It wasn't locked either. So you're.
Are there locks on the? Are there actual locks on the door? Is there like a bolt or?
Yeah. There's
bolts.
again the sort of primitive key lock kind of thing below, only on the exterior doors.
Okay. Are there shutters in the windows? Do I recall?
There are shutters. They are not pulled close though.
Okay. All right. So if that's all
That's about it for the kitchen. You'd have to double back into the living room to the next door.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
This is peculiar.
You do that.
This doesn't look
Walt,
like-
give
this
me
doesn't-
another listen roll, please.
It doesn't look like anybody actually lives here. Like it looks like it's like given the appearance of someone's house.
I agree.
Oh yeah, 13. I have a 20 though, so it's not.
No, Walt,
What
Mr.
do you want me
Larrabee,
what do you want me to fail this time?
give me a listen roll, please.
Who did I offend? 03.
03. Okay.
I
that
changed dice.
Put the
Never
other
lose.
other dice into a dice jail, whatever. You hear out in the unscythed hay, or not hay, wheat fields.
Okay.
A distinct rustling, something moving through the wheat somewhere out there. It's moving enough where you're not really seeing anything. It's starting to get dark, so your vision out into the fields is somewhat minimal at this point. But you can definitely hear something moving around out there, whether it be a dog, a horse, somebody running through it. You don't know.
Okay, I'm going to. It's not between me and my horse, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's fairly distant.
Do any of my teammates who I travel? Do I know if Edward or Trout have any kind of spy scope or telescope or anything in their saddle? Or I don't have one, but
Give me a
I'd place
Dumb
an order
luck
for
roll?
one when we first set out. I don't think it ever arrived.
yes,
You succeed in your dumb luck roll.
yes, I succeed at my dumb luck roll. Changing dice. It's changed my
Okay.
life.
You don't recall one way or the other, so you start kind of just sort of poking around, and Edward seems to have a small looking glass. It's not like a telescopy type thing.
A lady's
Okay.
opera glass.
Maybe for something like bird watching or something.
Okay, well, I will. Since I still have the Hebe and the GB, and now there's
Hold your
something
pinky
moving,
out when you hold it.
That's
I'm
right.
going to be like,
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna borrow it, and I'm going to. How far are horses away from the door?
Probably around 15 feet, just at a horse tile.
Okay. So stop standing there. Do the horses seem spooked in any way?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
There's
actually.
only one thing spooked, and his name is Walt Larrabee.
Well, I'm going to climb up on my horse, and I'm going to pull
Prepare
my
to
gun.
flee and leave your
Well,
friends behind.
being up on my horse will give me a better view. I'm gonna get on my horse. Why are you typing? I do not accept your text if you're texting me, damn it. All right, so anyway, I'm climbing on my horse. I'm pulling my gun, just having it ready off to the side safely, and then I'm going to be borrowing Edward's opera glasses and continue to scan and listen and be like on full audio visual alert.
Okay. Let's snap back to
Soon to be debtors.
the
Probably.
Providence mine.
Maybe Walt was onto something
So-
when he ran out of here like a coward.
You all made the agreement with Matt, whatever the miner's name guy is, that you would be waiting until tomorrow morning to retrieve the wagon. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Um,
We weren't going to do it at night.
right. And after making that decision to say
He went down in the mine
yeah,
to do some work. We stopped around up front. We got up on the roof of the, I guess it was where the horses are,
yeah,
and saw the whole layout of the grounds.
right, and had noticed that the rather large amount of tailings that's probably came out of the mine does seem to be forming some particular and peculiar, very large scale patterns.
Yes.
And then, if I remember, you kind of maybe sketched again awkwardly from your point of view. It's probably a little distorted just because, again, it requires sort of an eagle's view to really kind of get a real good view of it. But yeah, it's not something, you don't get the impression that these are random or anything. And if I remember, you had a little trouble getting up, but you didn't have any trouble getting back down again, I think. And I think that's where we kind of left you guys. So again, for you guys, it is getting near nightfall. You really don't know, when you're in a mine, daytime, nighttime is probably almost immaterial. You work until you're tired and you come out and, oh, it's dark, whatever. But you got the impression that, it would be nice, at least, if maybe when he came out, maybe if wherever he had some beans boiling in a pot or something along those lines.
Yeah, I figured I don't think Gustav has an inkling to go down the mine. I know I sure as
I
hell
wasn't
don't.
going to.
So I think we should probably just go back to the hovel, the house, whatever you want to call it, the shack.
It's a nice, not gigantic by any means, but single floor homestead.
It's been a while since we had the description of it, so I don't remember it.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a smallish homestead. It has a sort of a kitchen area, a living room, and 2 bedrooms. Otherwise, it's a single story, probably a bit of some attic space. Let's say filled with some things that appear very antique-y. Not anything that strikes you as having particularly a feminine touch. These would be all sort of like, yes, there's my great grandfather's whatever blunderbust, and there's a war axe I picked up in whatever, that kind of a thing. All nothing particularly new looking, so you don't get the impression that these are like reproductions or anything. They all seem to be, genuine, and when you look at it all, probably worth a fair amount of money. You know, um, do you poke around, or are you just kind of in the house?
Probably go back to the house and I'll poke around in the kitchen to figure out what kind of victuals there are and figure out what to prep.
Sure. A lot of canned goods. What one could pick up in, the 1870s in can is admittedly somewhat limited, but there are some cans of fruits. There's pot meats. There's beans of various types. There's quote unquote ketchup, which back then ketchup was not what we imagine now as ketchup. Ketchup back then was kind of green and often had a lot of fish in it.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know, anchovy paste with some vegetables mixed in would probably be the best description of that. But yeah, it doesn't take long. It is well stocked, so it's not just a handful of cans or whatever. Pretty much all the cupboards are relatively full. You get the impression that they must have stocked somewhat recently.
Okay.
Does it look like expensive stuff or just cheap stuff?
Just stuff that you pick up at a general goods store, just in general. Nothing in bulk per se, and but it all looks to be relatively easy to prepare. Open a can, heat up, throw it in a pot, put it on top of the potbelly stove, make it warm, and eat it, kind of thing. You do not find any alcohol, which is somewhat surprising, though.
They may have been alcoholics that decided to stop drinking.
Getting
I've heard
drunk and mining in a hard rock mine can be dangerous too. So
yeah, I've heard about people that have stopped drinking. So
yeah, the only thing that you haven't tested out the water nearby yet, but in general, one of the big reasons why one brewed beers and such is it also sterilized the water.
yeah. Well, I will. Gustav, you got any skill at the campfire?
Campfire. I don't believe so.
If you don't have a specific,
What would that even be under?
Yeah, there's no cooking skill.
right?
I guess that would be a craft.
The survival.
Yeah, it would be if one were specific French cuisine or something like that, it would be a write-in style thing.
Survival is the closest thing I see for like grilling a can of beans over an open fire.
Yeah, I would say that this is something that would be more of just sort of a no role of just sort of basic field cooking. You know what a can opener looks like, that kind of thing.
All right, let's make sure I remember to vent the cans. Oh, damn. You can't see it, but it's a 0-1.
Great time to blow that 0-1 roll.
Exactly, yes. Blew the 0-1 right at the wrong time.
I've cooked the shit out of this.
I have opened these beans and made them tastier.
That's right.
Before.
And you do find actually one nice thing about this house, which is somewhat of a rarity in houses. There is a pump at the kitchen, actually at a sink. There's a hand pump for tapping into a well.
Well, so they actually brought the well right into the house. That is impressive.
Yeah,
Well,
not particularly common yet.
go ahead and use a pitcher and fill up with the well water and pour it in a glass, sniff it.
Nice and brown.
Okay, you take a sniff and a sort of an optical, kind of looking through the probably green glass pitcher, but no, it doesn't give off any particular odor. There's no particulate matter. Nothing seems to be settling at the bottom um of the pitcher.
Well, I
Looks
figure
good.
there will probably be mason jars or glasses somewhere, and then I'll just fill them, fill the glasses with the water.
Yeah, there's basically coffee cups and mason jars, empty mason jars.
I'll use the empty mason jars for the water.
Okay. And you prep up food.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
And we'll just wait for him to come up. I mean, yeah, we'll look at the stuff around the house, but we're not going to go rooting through his junk. I don't think I'm going to
I mean,
go.
maybe
rooting
you're
through his
not.
junk. I'm not. I'm going to be busy cooking. If Gustav wants to snoop around, go ahead.
Gustav?
I'm gonna continue snooping around.
Okay. You start snooping around. Give me a pretty much there's the
I'd spot
living
hidden.
room in general, the kitchen, or if you want to go a little bit more bold, you can go into either of the bedrooms that you see down a little bit of a hallway.
I'm gonna go into the bedrooms because that's where people keep their private things. And me being the superstitious sort, I got an odd air from our hosts, and I want to see maybe if they have a Bible next to the bed or a cross, or maybe the opposite of those things.
Or the diametric opposite. Okay, so let's see. Let me poke around here and see what I wrote down for this. So random one of the two roll, so we'll just randomly choose. I guess you don't know enough about either of them to
No.
just optically go, aha, that's clearly the old guy's room. Let's see.
Hopefully they don't have any ring cameras where they're watching me go through the room and going this way.
May spring a leak.
Okay, so you get into one of the rooms. You don't see a Bible on like it's a fairly small room. Okay, first of all, both rooms are pretty much enough size for a chest at the foot of the bed, a modest dresser, and an actual bed with an oil lamp beside the bed. And that's pretty much about it.
I'll take a look under the bed, if there isn't under the bed, if it's not just straw on the ground.
No, it's a standard rope tie off bed.
Okay.
Hence sleep tight. So you tighten the ropes.
Oh. The more you know.
I say give me a spot hidden roll.
Ooh. Well, that's a 99.
99.
Dust bunnies. I got
Beautiful,
dust bunny in my nose.
beautiful bedroom.
At least I didn't break anything, and they'll know I've been
You
in.
did not break anything. Do you want to check the other room?
Yes.
You find nothing of interest in this room.
Okay. Next room.
Okay, next room. Similar in setup. Slightly different. a bed blanket and such, but otherwise, not a particular change up. If you want to poke around, give me another spot hidden roll.
Okay. Did you a little better this time? Okay. 15 out of 45.
15 out of 45. Okay. You kind of, quickly open drawers. You don't find, you find, basic clothing there. Going to the foot of the bed, though, again, another sort of a foot locker slash, traveling trundle. And, but it is locked.
Lock. Let's see. My locksmith is 1%. I don't think I'm going to be able to top.
Roll really low and blow the luck.
I could try.
Hurts you to try if it's like, hey, I'm only 70 away.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give it a try.
Okay.
Come on, 1. 35.
35.
Let's see. How much? Oh, I have 84 luck.
Yeah, when you're gonna need that 50, when you're gonna need that.
You might have
fletcher
some
luck.
chips you might want to blow.
No, let's
Oh,
see.
yeah, there you go.
Blow chips.
Let's see. I don't even remember what we agreed the chips do.
White will give you basically, whatever you roll, you can remove 10 points off the percentage. So if you rolled a 35, you can blow a white chip, and it's now a 25. Red is what, 20,
20.
and the highest one I think is a 30, or you can blow it to negate disadvantage rolls, or give yourself advantage if you didn't have advantage before.
I feel like the answer to this could be important. So you said 10 points for every white chip?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have a 35. So if I blow 4 white chips, which is what I have, I can make it happen.
Sure.
Let's do it.
Okay. At first, you're not so sure about picking the lock. You're kind of like, you got out your knife. You're like, no, that's not a good thing. And, you kind of poke around. You got a little, probably like a lapel pin or something that you kind of like, oh, this might kind of do. And, through a little bit of finagling and such, you manage to, again, these are, it's a shipping locker. It's not like a gigantic, heavy deadbolt or something like that. But you manage to, without damaging the lock, pick it open, and you open it up, and there's again a little bit more knickknacks. You find some ammunition, you find some blasting caps, and some dynamite, but you also find some basically what looks like almost a traveling case. One that you just store documents in and carry around. Not quite a business suitcase, but it's a business person's traveling case from like the late 1700s, early 1800s. They hadn't really invented business suitcases since by then. And it's just held together, closed by a belt style belt and buckle. So it's not locked. It's just held closed by belt and buckle.
No exterior indication on what it might contain. No writings that says, grandma's recipes or
no, nothing
last
like
year's
that.
taxes.
7 years of taxes.
Well, I guess I'm going to call out to Vance and
Okay.
see if he wants to come take a look at it. Obviously, I'm mindful of the time. I don't want to be caught in the unenviable position of going through our host's things when they come back. So maybe if we take a brief look, see what we can see.
Okay, Vance, you hear your name being called from down the hallway.
I'll step down the hallway. What you need, Goose?
So looky here. This was in his footlocker. I know.
Oh, hold on. and I go to the windows and take a look out towards the mine and see if anybody's coming.
Give me a scan roll, please.
Yes.
Okay, you're pretty darn confident that he has not come out of the mine as of yet.
All right, so I will hustle back down and what's up? I'll take the beans off the pot, off the stove,
Yes.
and then head down. What'd you find? What'd you find?
So I found this here antique looking set of papers. It doesn't really seem to match everything else. I'm curious what we might find in here, considering the oddness with which our host is behaving. I think maybe this might be worth a look at. I'm not
Well,
wrong.
unbuckle it. Take a look.
All right, unbuckle it.
Okay, you unbuckle it, fold up the thing, pull out, and it's not an overwhelming amount of paperwork, and it's all kind of a little bit different sizes. Some of the paper, you immediately kind of get that old paper smell, right? That not quite mothbally, but there's I don't know, smell to old paper. And as you kind of flip through it, it'd be kind of the equivalent of opening up a family Bible and seeing a family tree, birth and death, stuff like that. But it's more sort of the actual paperwork, birth and death records and such, paperwork that one would have if one was possibly near, being perhaps the sole survivor of one's family lineage. You kind of collected up, all the important paperwork of one's family, kind of thing. And this paperwork, it dates back fairly far. Just kind of flipping through, kind of looking quickly at just sort of, year marks on dates and such. It goes back, you see some dates, all the way back to the 1500s. It starts getting into that sort of weird, where S's look like F's type, stuff and such. But still, recognizable. As I say, some of the oldest paperwork does look kind of weird. You catch a peculiar spelling of Edinburgh. Give me an idea roll, please.
Idea roll?
Uh-huh.
Jesus, Scott.
Actually, how do I do that?
Your idea is your
Your intelligence.
intelligence?
No,
Some
intelligence,
characteristics. And it's a percentage roll, just like a skill roll.
Okay. Regular success. 67
regular
out
success.
of 85.
Something's throwing you off on this paperwork. Maybe have Vance take a look at it, maybe. But something seems a little strange.
Hey, Vance, why don't you take a look at this? I'm going to go take a look at the beans and maybe take a look at the window to make sure we're still in the clear here. See if you can make heads or tails of this.
Flip through
That
it.
way, if he's approaching the door, I can run interference and stall him with a bullshit story while you put that back.
Okay.
Since he mentions that there's something seems off, the first thing I'm probably going to think about is, looking at the dates, then looking at any signatures that are on any of the documents.
Okay. You start looking through signatures and such. I mean, obviously, yes, there are plenty of signatures. Yes.
So I'm looking for similarities
Okay.
over a period of time of how the signature is done.
Give me give me an idea roll with advantage.
Okay. Make sure that's the right dice. Yes. Oh, that's good. Well, doesn't make a bit of difference. That's my big die. That is with 9 points. That is a hard success.
Okay, so you made it to the hard. Okay.
I spent 9 luck points to make it a hard.
Okay, probably a good idea there.
Yeah.
So you notice two things. One, though you're not an expert, it does appear that this is all in the exact same handwriting, and for that matter, the same ink.
This could all be forgeries, huh? But the paper is different in ages.
Indeed.
Man, you stink.
What's going on over there?
Sorry, I just the baby stinks. I think he spit up on himself. And-
Vance, give me a gambling roll.
Man, a gambling roll.
He just gambled right there.
No, get off my dice.
Every time I eat out.
I had gambling. Where did I put it?
Isn't that from Airplane or something?
Gambling. There it is. Okay.
Make a gun too.
Couldn't find
Naked gun.
Oh, hey, a 14 out of 30.
14 out of 30.
Score.
Okay. So
Holy shit.
no.
No.
Gambling, I think, can also be used a little bit as a concept of forgery. And you don't get the impression that the paper itself was like fake aged in like tea or something like that. No, that's you're fairly confident that that's genuine, 250-year-old paper that you're seeing there.
So
Maybe
it's someone's drawn from the same inkwell over and over again. Okay, that's really creepy. Put it all back in. Tie it up.
Stuff.
Put
You're
it
in the
back
kitchen,
in.
looking out the window. Give me a scan roll, please.
No, don't touch that.
Good.
Come on back.
Uh,
Come here, monkey.
29 out of 59. That is
29 out of what?
29 out of 59.
Oh, 59. Okay. You, from your vantage in the kitchen, say you haven't seen the mine per se, and it's getting dark, but you do see the glow of a lantern starting to illuminate roughly where the miner had walked off to. So you get the feeling that your buddy might be trudging back at this point. And that was after you waited a while, you were checking, and then also, I see a little hint of light.
All right, I'm gonna run back to Vance. Vance, I think he's coming back, so I'm gonna swap with him, and I'm gonna put the book back into the state where I had it because I was the one who removed it.
Sure.
So I'm gonna buckle it back up, place it back in the chest about where it was, and close it while Vance tends to the beans. That way, I have the best chance of him not noticing that it was disturbed. And then I'm going to leave that bedroom and join Vance.
Was
in
his
the
room.
kitchen.
Okay, and I want both of you all to give me a dumb luck roll, and hopefully one of you succeeds.
Dumb luck. Ooh. I'm gonna be a champ. And
Wait for Gustav.
I can. So I'm close. I can blow some luck and get it without
Okay.
too much trouble.
okay, if you can.
Okay.
Otherwise, I was
so-
gonna blow some chips.
Nah, don't worry about it. So I'm
Okay,
going to blow 13 luck and
Oh,
buy it.
yeah.
So it turns out, luckily, that the lock is a relocking lock, and you didn't have to
Ah.
close.
Close.
So, back to the farm.
Hooray.
Oh boy, back to the farm.
Okay, so you all
Derby's on his
come
horse.
back out into the living room. You were looking for just finishing out, kind of scouting around the house. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the living room there is one door, and then you can go through the open space to the dining room.
A one-story house or is it two-story?
It is a 2-story house.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Go,
unless you tell us
go in the
something
basement.
unusual,
So you know you want to.
we're just gonna quickly move through the house, and if there's anything interesting, we'll pause and look more carefully at it. But we're kind of
Okay,
looking to
quick
see if
opening
there's
of the door presents a staircase leading upstairs.
okay. Finish up the floor, then we'll go up first. I'd rather go up than down. What do you think?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you head up the stairs fairly quickly. At this point, while you're kind of scanning around, you notice that weird blue white light thing that the doctor has. You can tell that they're clearly going upstairs, just to give you sort of where they more or less are, kind of thing.
Okay, so it's the blue light special.
That's right. You ascend the stairs, and there is a door to your left, or the stairs come up and does kind of a switchback kind of hallway leading to the back side of the house.
Okay, we will head to the right.
Okay, so heading down to the right brings you to the switchback to the back side of the house,
Okay.
and that switchback just simply leads to a single door.
I shall open the door.
Okay, bedroom.
Again, any possessions, any clothing in the drawers?
Going through again, there's furniture. I say the furniture is not perfectly new, but it is clean. There's like doilies on the one dresser. There's a mirror there and such
But,
like that. But there's
in this
a
part of the world,
wardrobe.
there's dust everywhere, right? I mean, doesn't dust get blown into things, or is it not that dry here?
There should be, but there is no dust.
Okay. I mean, dust, you know.
It's been
Basically.
dusted very well.
All right.
I say there's a wardrobe. You pop open the wardrobe real quick, I assume, since you're kind of going through, whatever. And at this point, this is one of those rooms where you're kind of in a converted attic kind of thing. So the sides are at the the angle kind of dealio.
Sure.
And wardrobe is entirely empty except for what looks like a man's maybe Sunday best and a woman's wedding dress.
So that's the that is the only thing we have seen in this place that looks like a person lives here.
Yeah.
I will check the suit and look in the pockets to see if there's any notes or letters.
Could you speak up again? You went quiet.
I'm sorry, I leaned back. I will check the suit to see if there's any notes or letters or anything in it.
You don't find anything like that, but you can
Nope.
give me a spot hidden roll. And Edward, what are you doing while he's spot hidden ending?
I'll look around carefully.
Okay, same deal. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I did not succeed.
Now, don't forget, every time you do a spot hidden roll, that is 10 minutes.
Four is a regular success.
Regular success. And Dr. Trout?
Oh, I blew it big time.
You blew it. Okay. Outside of the wedding
I started thinking about my wife.
wedding dress and tuxedo, or it's not a tuxedo, it's just sort of a Sunday best kind of thing. But you kind of went through, and in the pockets of the tuxedo Sunday best, you find two small blobs of gold, almost like nuggets, basically. Gold nuggets.
They're not wedding rings.
Of decent size, and you kind of heft them, and they're definitely gold.
I'll show them to Edward.
And Dr. Trout could step on a cow patty and he'd have a $20 bill stuck to his shoe.
I would like to have a whole session where you don't make comments about my financial status.
Well,
No.
So in effect, you find two relatively, you kind of weigh them. You're used to dealing in gold. They're not gigantic, but both blobs are, they're about the size of a die or so, maybe a little bigger. One's a little bit smaller than the other one.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know, Edward. What do you think?
This is suspicious overall.
I mean,
There's
you
no
know,
sign
like,
of it.
look, it's like a wedding suit and a wedding dress, and then 2 gold blobs. If I was going to see gold things in the pockets, I would expect to see wedding rings.
That's
One is
true.
smaller than the other. Are they melted down wedding rings?
It does seem like there's been some serious heat in this. Well, I guess it's a house.
Yeah, but the
Weird
clothing
house.
isn't burned. The furniture isn't burned. But yeah, Aaron, Marshall, that's a good question. Has the smell of the wood smoke been more? Has it been prevalent? Is it more powerful in one place than the other?
It seems very consistent to you. Like even when you open up the wardrobe, in the wardrobe,
It's
there's
kind of
that
smoky.
you know, and it's just as pungent or less pungent, however you want to think about it, in the wardrobe as it was in the living room, where there's a fireplace.
Yeah, this is an odd place, and I don't. There's no notes, letters. There's no sort of answer to the mystery. I'm inclined to not. I'm not here to steal things, so I'm going to put the gold back, Edward.
Well, it's in your hands, Edward, since
Oh,
you've
I'm
gone.
sorry. I think we should put the
Oh.
gold back, Edward.
All right.
We're not here to steal things.
Walt, give me a scan, please, because you've been out scanning.
Yes, 18. So that would be
18.
a hard success.
Indeed. You do think you see, at this point, we're at sort of late dusk, right?
Okay.
So the light is extremely waning, and you're getting more sort of that shadow against, sort of silhouetting your scenic view against sort of a illuminated, as the sun is going down, you sort of just have a wall of light kind of thing, where the sun's down, but there's still a wall of light. And
Didn't the Grateful Dead have that? Oh, that was the wall of
maybe
sound.
kind
Sorry.
of near where that sound was, you see a large scarecrow mounted out there in the fields.
Was it there before?
You weren't really, I mean, it's not like you were
Would've
looking for
mentioned it.
scarecrows.
Okay. I was like, let me. Okay, that's weird. I'm running out of light too, right? Okay. How far away would it be?
Oh, it'd be probably maybe a quarter mile out there.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Well, I get.
Sorry.
I don't think you're sorry. I think that was a disingenuous apology. Bejangles. All right. Well, I can see. I mean, he's got that super powerful flashlight. So anywhere there's a light, I can see. I can tell that they're upstairs still, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
you
think
can see. Yeah, you'll see occasionally some
unholy
come out
light.
the window or something up there.
Is there a clearing all around the house? I mean, is
Uh,
it so?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to slowly, so I can, and stopping every 10 feet or so, listen and look around. I'm going to slowly make a slow, riding my horse, walk perimeter around the house, and same, looking, full alert, seeing and hearing, which I assume, because I'm going to stop periodically, so it's going to probably take me several minutes to work my way around the house.
So you're kind of patrolling around the house, in effect?
Yeah, on my horse, but like stopping every 5 or 10 feet, listening, looking around. So I'm basically on high alert, and
Okay.
doing a circle of the house.
Okay. We'll get back to that.
Okay.
Doctor and Edward. Edward, do you put the gold blobs back into the pockets?
I do.
Okay. All right. That's about all you find in that room. Coming out of that room, back down the little hallway, there's a little cubby door. Again, since you're kind of in the attic, and so you're at sort of a cutoff little space. So you open up, and clearly it's for sort of knickknack storages, hat boxes, that kind of crap. Coming around to the top of the stairs, and when you ascended the stairs, it would be to your left. Opening that door, it's a smaller room with several sort of smaller twin beds in it. three different, again, not in any way matched furniture, but so three different small dressers, and two wardrobes. A very cramped room at this point. You know, it's
Let, let's. All right, we'll just start searching all the cut. We'll see if there's any other clothing, any kids' clothing.
okay. Go ahead and give me spy hiddens again. One for each of you, please.
Success,
I'll burn-
regular success again.
Regular success. And Dr. Trout?
I'll burn 17 luck to make a success because I got a lot of it. So I'm down to 77.
Okay, so you both get a success by
Yeah.
hook or by crook. You find again nothing really particularly personal, except you find again three blobs of brass, maybe about sort of the size each one maybe of a squashed down golf ball.
How many beds are in the room?
3.
The other bedroom had a bed for 2 people.
Yes, yeah, it was a
Marital bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this is getting a little creepy.
It is getting creepy.
And any other
Getting?
rooms? Any other rooms on this floor?
I'm sorry.
Any other rooms on this floor?
No, that's it.
Yeah, let's. I don't know, Edward. I'm inclined to. I'm inclined to clear out. I don't want to go into the basement at night.
That's probably best. I agree.
I don't. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. think-
Mark, give me a listen roll, please.
Yeah, let's see how well I made it. Why can't I find my character sheet? Oh, there it is. Yes. Normal success. Just
Normal success. Okay.
missed a hard
Surprised that you
success by
were
6.
relatively speaking familiar with. You hear the sounds of a fairly rapidly being ridden horse coming up the, for lack of a better term, driveway of the farm.
Okay, I am going to so am I like on the back side of the house where I can't see the driveway, but I can
Yeah,
definitely
you'd have to kind of come around, but you know.
All right, I will try to stealthily but quickly try to advance my horse such that I can get a clear view of the driveway, but not get too close to the house.
Okay, I mean, you could come around and kind of get between the sort of mouth of the driveway that opens up to, you know, a bit of gravel where you know, horses, where would you then lead off the horses to the barn and such. But you could kind of get a little bit beside the chicken coop, which is, they're taller, they're fairly large back then, and you know, be under some cover basically, while still being able to kind of keep an eye out if that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have my gun cocked, not pointed, but like, so it's just right there. Look
Sure.
at me, I'm all tactical. It's just like
And
Active
about a
drag.
minute later, again, the drive kind of switched back and forth a little bit, kind of thing, so it's not just a clear shot to the road. But you see a medium-sized horse with a relatively short rider, riding fairly hard, carrying a lantern. It's kind of bobbing about.
okay.
And as the horse kind of comes to the much more current cleared out area, kind of immediately around the farmhouse, you see what you believe to be a relatively young boy hop off the horse. And
Does he stop where my compadre's horses are?
Yes.
Because they were okay. Does he? I'm kind of trying to stay in the shadows, and he's not a boy, so I'm not. I'm no longer having the gun's a little less maybe at my side instead of it. But does he appear to be checking out the horses or look alarmed or?
He's rapidly tying off his horse, and it's kind of a bullseye lantern kind of thing, and he's kind of pointing it at the door, which he sees is open, and he's, as he kind of does the two whip and pull through for the horse, he starts approaching the door kind of without hesitation.
Okay, I'm going to say, good evening, young man.
Are you ain't the doc, are you?
Nope, Doc's in the house, but don't go in there. I'll call for him. Step
Oh,
back. In fact, step away from the door, please, right now. Get back to your horse.
Okay, sir. And he kind of backpedals to his horse.
Okay, I'm gonna ride so I'm still on my horse. I'm gonna ride my horse up near the front of the door, get a few feet away, and I'm gonna be Dr. Trout.
I can't hear you unless you come in.
I'm gonna yell. It ain't happening, Dr. Trout. I think you think you're needed right now outside.
Can't hear you. Come on up. I'm in the basement.
Pulling the lanyard. It's code.
And see, son, that's what it looks like when a grown man urinates his pants.
All right. So, all kidding aside, Doc, got a young man just rode up hard.
So
He says he needs you.
We're pretty much wrapped up and we're upstairs. So
Yeah.
we're coming down the stairs, and so we'll go to the front door.
Okay, you come to the front door. You see Walt on his horse.
With my gun out, by the way.
Gun lowered, not pointing
Yeah.
it at anything in particular. And kind of beyond him, you can see your horses with another horse tied off at the same tie off, and a very short person standing next to the new horse.
How can I help you, young man?
You're the doctor, right?
Yep, Dr. Trout.
Okay. Whew. Well, you're a tough man to track down. Most important, my name's Joey. Most important, Miss Parker. It's her birthing time, and we need, it'd be good to have you tending that.
You're needed,
All right.
Doctor.
Okay. Lead the way. I'm coming.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll go there.
Okay.
We'll move the table back where it was and close the front door.
Okay.
Edward, anything else you need in there?
Ed and Walt, give me a idea roll, please.
Oh, 08. I was like, don't tell me I rolled 100. Yep. So no problem.
I made a
critical.
Yeah.
Really, both of you? Okay, great. It occurs to you kind of how the hell this kid know to come here as opposed to the doctor's house?
Maybe he was already there and didn't see the horses there, but he saw the tracks.
He had a lantern.
Why don't we ask him, young man? How did you know to come here?
Well, I'll be honest. I was a little concerned. I mean, I went up to y'all's house and, I saw the note on your door. I gotta admit, I didn't assume it was the doctor that wrote it because of the poor English that was on the door. But said to come over here.
Little mental note. Did we leave a note on the door?
No.
You have the note?
Oh no! It was written on the door in some sort of coal or soot or something.
Oh,
Charcoal?
Yeah, it could have been or just burnt stick, maybe.
You fellows want to go?
I have area knowledge. Do I recognize this guy? Young man, what's your name? Who your
Joe, you
people?
know him as the Silverman's kid.
Okay, so I've seen him before.
Yeah.
All right.
Joey Bag of Donuts.
I'm gonna do. Can I just try psychology if he seems strange, acting unusually or anything?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a psychology roll.
A normal success.
Normal success. Outside of A being a little tired, and clearly showing a little bit of concern about Miss Parker.
Nothing
He
unusual.
he doesn't seem to be doing any deceiving or anything along those lines. And he goes, "Oh, and he kind of sticks his hand in his pocket. Um, it was Mr. Swearinger who gave me a little extra money to come find you as quick as possible, and he handed me this note. And he hands you, Walt. He hands you a note just because you're
Okay.
closest.
Okay.
And it says in Swearinger's rather sort of scrawly handwriting, I might have some free information that you might find interesting.
All right. Thank you, young man. I'll reach in and give him a quarter, 2 bits. And hey, doctor, why don't you right ahead and we're gonna go back check out the house.
All right, here's the key.
You're needed.
All right, so I'll go with the kit. We can hang on. Well,
Now you've got somebody's
all right. Well, you guys try to
somebody
catch up.
could die in childbirth. You gotta go.
Split up more. That makes sense.
No, I mean I'm not going in. I just want to check out the note. I don't think we all need to ride back together. But
Right.
I
So
just thought,
just try to catch up. I won't push the horses until you catch up to us.
all right.
Okay.
So she's in town, right? She's not outside of town, or
Yeah, she's actually they're waiting in your office.
Okay. Who let him in? All right. Get on the horses and
Her and her kin.
I'll start riding.
Okay. Joe's going to go with you for lack of any
Yeah.
other thing. He's
Oh,
got a nice
Edward.
answer.
I
Are
I
you
borrowed
using your
this.
special flashlight, or do you use just like a normal?
I'll go to the normal lantern. I don't want to.
Okay.
And the kid probably was surprised at the lantern.
Well, I'm thinking you probably thought enough to douse it at least as you were kind of coming out of the house.
Okay. All right. So
He probably saw like, well, you got a peculiarly strong lantern, but that's probably all he figured out.
Yeah.
As long as
probably
you didn't shine it in his face, he just probably didn't register with him.
So I will. I'll just get my normal lantern out. I've got a regular one as well.
All right.
Okay, and you start riding back to town at a moderate speed, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
riding hell bent in the dark, even with a lantern too, can be dangerous. And
we know how good his ride is skill wise.
yeah, it would be forcing riding skill rolls absolutely at
Yeah,
that
you
point.
do not want to force.
Um,
You mean those luck rolls, Burns?
and Edward and Walt, do you head back over to
Edward, yes.
the?
Edward,
Yeah, let's check out that note.
Here's your I heard some noise coming.
Walt's
I heard
like,
some
yes,
noise
Edward's
in the-
coming with me. Edward.
Edward, here's your spyglass. I apologize. I heard some before that rider. I heard some noise coming towards in the uncut wheat. So I knew you had a spyglass. So
No problem. Makes sense to me.
all right. So I just want to see this note. I think we
Yeah.
should try to stick together. But let's just. I don't want to take this kid's word for it. Though I know that young man. So he seems
All
on
right.
the level. All right, so we're gonna ride it. Same thing. We're not gonna go hell bent for leather. But we're gonna ride moderately up to the doctor's to the front door.
Okay, and while you're doing that, back over to the mine.
Yay.
So you get the cooking. We're cooking, and you kind of it's not like you put out the stove, but you kind of pulled the beans off the side, but you kind of put back on. You weren't gone long enough for it to get ice cold or anything like that. And 2-3 minutes later, Mr. Brady walks into the house. He's dusty and a little sweaty, not too sweaty, but and he kind of steps in. Hey y'all!
Hey,
Smells pretty good.
well, I figured you'd be hungry when you came up.
Sure am. It's awfully nice to get some good victuals after a hard day's of slamming.
I'll go ahead and
Of yanking the tiller? What?
Pulling the land.
I'll say, well, it's ready unless you need to freshen up first.
Yeah, I think I'll pull out of these duds and put on something a little more presenting with to be honest, some rare company. So he
I'll keep these warm.
he steps down and he actually goes into the same room that y'all opened up the letters from. And a few minutes later, about 3-4 minutes later, he comes back out. He's got different jeans on, a new buttoned up shirt. Not sure about anything else. Same boots. Still wearing his beat up hat.
Yep.
And no, he took his hat off when he came in. So yeah.
I'll ladle out the beans, as it were.
All right, and he kind of immediately he takes it and has a couple and it's like, wow, you must put some different spices or something in here. It's good.
Mm.
And
Glad to hear.
That's saliva, son.
and he steps over to the fireplace where there's a fair amount of charred wood, and he pulls out a phosphate matchstick and breaks the glass tip and puts it right underneath there and lights up almost immediately. And sits down. And again, it's fairly nicely appointed as far as furniture goes. A little old, but fairly nice appointed. There's a little 2-person table with admittedly just 2 chairs, but there's also a smallish couch with a coffee table. They didn't call them coffee tables back then, but there's a table there, and there's 2 of those kind of high wingback leather chairs, ones with the sort of sides with the brass nails all down and all that kind of stuff. And he says, well, nothing formal. Really don't have enough space for a dining room, so feel free to sit wherever you're comfy.
All right.
And he digs in and starts eating with some gusto, but otherwise doesn't seem like, from y'all's point of view, that he noticed anything out of place in what you assume is his room.
I'll take a seat, I guess, at one of the, just holding the bowl and, bring it, probably go sit on the couch. And I'll strike up saying, when you went down, we just kind of walked around the property and I saw all the rock that you pulled out. How long you been working this? That's a lot of rock.
Oh yeah, well, we used to have some help about 15 odd years ago, but once we got a bit deeper, we decided to go it alone. But yeah, there was an awful lot pulled out. We don't pull so much out nowadays. Now that we're hitting good veins. But to get down there, boy, that was a lot of blasting, a lot of grunt work.
15 years. What do you mining out here?
Well, now it's a mixture. We're getting some good phosphates, a fair amount of ghost rock now, and a bit of silver as well.
Oh.
How long exactly you been in the mining business?
Oh, well, pretty much as long as I can
250 odd
remember.
years.
That last 500 years?
But he seems, quite content to eat. His conversation skills don't seem to be great. He in passing mentions that probably will be taking another load of phosphate down to Stillwater in the not too distant future.
Hey, I have a question.
Usually him and the other guy, they don't talk that much.
What now?
No, go ahead, Gustav.
Oh, sorry, there was a delay. I was just going to ask him generally. So you tell us a little more about the mining business. You know, we're not as educated as yourself. What are some reasons somebody might just abandon a mine, other than it running out of minerals?
Well, played
Are there
out,
any-
of course, is biggest reason, but um, even when they're not entirely played out, there's other good reasons to stop mining. One is just pure danger. You find a fissure or something that you can't joist up sufficiently, or you don't have sufficient joisting to put it up. That can be a reason. If you hit enough water, it floods out the place. I guess maybe with maybe something that one of those newfangled things maybe Gilmore has or something that you can maybe suck it all out now, but up till recent, you hit some water deep enough, uh, you're pretty much you're gonna have to give it up. Of course, it's heat. Go down deep enough on some of the things similar to the water issues. You hit um, a well that's got some heat on it. Well, that'll kill it off too. Um, Really, it's a matter of what's it worth versus your time and effort of going it. Short of played out, you can almost always still keep mining, but yeah, you know, uh, if you got to have a team of 20 people constantly pulling out buckets of water just to keep the place semi dry, yeah, that's a lot of overhead.
Have you ever had to abandon a claim after you maybe went too deep, hit a gas pocket or something else?
Unleashed a Balrog.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, let's see. I've certainly heard of people, especially in coal mines. You can hit some pretty vicious um, pockets of gas and such. And of course, again, if mine gets extensive enough and deep enough, um, again, it goes back to that whole: is it worth it for running bellows and such like that to try to get sufficient air down there so your people don't collapse down? Um, Thankfully, we haven't had that particular problem here at the old Providence mine, although it is pretty extensive down there. Pretty sure, well, not even pretty sure. When we were digging, we opened up to a cavern entrance, and so it's bigger down there than you'd think, even with the tailings.
Notice you actually found a cavern.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, sir. Big old stalactites and stalagmites.
Wow.
Real pretty.
I don't think I've ever seen something like that.
Well,
Heard
before
of
we
it.
head we head off for the wagon tomorrow morning, or after, if you want to come down and take a look, it's darn pretty.
That might be nice to see.
Roll a power roll for me, please.
I succeeded last time, and I succeeded this time.
These are the droids we're looking for.
Succeed or succeed hard, succeed or just
29 out of 75, so a hard success.
Wow. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah, 37. Yeah, 29.
And he describes, there's a small grotto down there, and he kind of, he seems very proud of their current stake.
So grotto like a lake underwater, or
Uh,
under a lake in the ground.
Yeah.
Huh. Is that where the well comes from?
And he kind of thinks about it. He's like, no, the cavern with the grotto and such, that'd probably be, oh shoot, and he kind of points a little further west, probably about 3 miles that direction, and of course down.
All right. Wasn't sure if it was fed the same way.
Well, it's probably fed by the same aquifers, though.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
That's a fancy word.
or water tables, I guess, back then.
There's not much else I want to ask this guy because I don't want to impose. It's not like I'm going to say, so how long have you been alive? No. So before you came out this way and took the claim, where you hail from?
Oh, my family comes from Scotland. And we first mined up in the Appalachian. Then pretty much from a family of miners, you could say.
Wow.
But that's a good way to when you're from a family of miners, that way the knowledge of mining run deep in the family. You learn from your elders and bests.
Must have been nice to have a family that everyone learned the same thing. Learn from each other.
Sure. That how most families work?
Well, not exactly my family.
I'm sorry to hear
Nor
that.
mine.
Heck, even old Jezebel out there learned how to climb rocks and such from her mommy and daddy.
Yeah, my father was a lawyer up in the Colorado territories.
It's a tough place
And
to know.
I left Colorado at a younger age, and I've been traveling around different territories.
What landed you around in these parts?
Say again?
What landed you around in these parts?
Mostly towards California. Ran through New Mexico, Wyoming, and then came around here to Kansas quite a few years back.
So you went through California before the big shake.
Oh yeah.
Must have been pretty back then.
But yeah, mostly spent most of my time in New Mexico, and then spent a little time up in Wichita. Mostly tracking down some folk, and then
Did you find most of the people you're tracking down?
found them all.
How about you, Goose? Hope you don't mind me calling you Goose. That's what I heard your
Everybody does.
pal say.
He had to go get his
Got the
character
sheet
sheet.
up. Well, I left Massachusetts. Must be. Oh, I don't even know how many years it's been, but see, my family came from money and had particular ways they wanted things done, and I was never much for one to be told how to do it. So I fear I was a disappointment to my father for too many years, and finally I decided I had to go make it on my own. So I bounced around just here and there, rode the rails for a while, rode with some caravans, picked up some tricks, got into card sharking and showboating, and ended up with the wrong crowd for a while.
Oh, well,
Now
I was
I'm
going
just
to ask if y'all wanted to play some cards a little later on, but now I'm not so sure.
Well, we don't have to play for money. We can just play for
Your soul.
just play for the spirit of it. But I gotta say, life's been pretty good the last few years. I found some good friends around these parts, reliable folk. Look out for each other. Nice to have folk that look out for each other.
Do you have dealings with many other towns right now outside of Coldwater?
Not so much. Coldwater's where we've been at for some time. Didn't intend to stay, but that's the way things are. Sometimes Providence guides you, and sometimes it's just the luck of the draw.
Well, I sure know that I have occasionally felt very guided to locations. Yes, indeed.
One question, if you don't mind me asking, this might sound silly, but there weren't nobody in Coldwater who could help me. Like I said, my father, he came from money, and I seem to be running out of money. I had some documents that I might need some copies made, but I can't find nobody around here that is good at copying documents. If I could just mail these off to his lawyer, there was supposed to be an inheritance for me from my aunt, but I just never did get around to mailing it in. But I can't send off the ones I got, because if the mail loses them, and the mail's lost it before, then I might not get nothing. So I just need somebody to pen me up some copies. You wouldn't happen to know anybody who's good at that sort of thing? I just don't know enough people around here.
Well, certainly there's got to be somebody in Coldwater who can do that, or in Still. I'm not much for letterings myself. Don't get me wrong, I know how to put my mark down and all, but I think well, it's better to say there was somebody in Stillwater that I'm pretty sure would be able to help you out right good. He's a paper man, a newspaper man. But I don't know. Ever since them funny lights, I don't know.
The funny lights.
Yeah. There's a Chinaman down there that around their New Year's would light off these fireworks. That's what we call them, works of fire, something like that, one way or the other. Real pretty, bright lights, different colors, blah blah blah. But he got into some trouble, or so I heard from last time I was down there. For lighting them off, not during their New Year's, but according to a couple of the town folk, they say that he swears up and down he wasn't launching any of them. So maybe somebody else stole them and was firing them off as a joke or something like that. But they're real pretty. But I'll tell you, ever since a couple of those letting off, town's gone a little peculiar in my book.
Interesting. Can't say I've seen fireworks in many years myself. Maybe we should go pay him a visit.
Big city type stuff on 4th of July, fireworks are quite rare. Outside of some of the Chinese worker camps for the railroads, you sometimes see them there, but fireworks are outside of battlefield use and 4th of July are almost unheard of.
So I'm eating spaghetti and meatballs, and the dog is like glue on me right now. I can't imagine why.
Goose, you're not super used to this kind of stuff, so if you're trying to kind of drag out some information and whomever you're trying to drag it out from maybe seems evasive, that might be when you'd be like, hey, let's do a psychology roll or something like that to see if they are.
Well, hey, dog. Hey, excuse. Okay, this is happening. I do have persuade. Oh,
You can try persuade. Of course, you need a subject. you
oh,
know.
okay. I do have psychology. Uh,
Everybody's got it. You just might not be getting any good at
During
it.
this conversation, I'll kind of study him myself and try the psychology as well.
okay, yeah, I do have psychology of 30.
Okay, you can both roll psychology if you like.
Wow. I failed.
You
Okay.
failed.
Much more than I would need to spend points for.
Oh, how nice. Got a 35, so I'm gonna burn 5 luck.
Okay. You got the impression when talking about the paperwork and such like that, and he made reference to uh, um, not being particularly lettered. You get the distinct feeling that he wasn't telling the truth, and also kind of rings in your mind somewhere that
Hold on.
that they had sent multiple notes to Swearinger, basically saying, "Hey, we can't come down to Coldwater."
Right.
So obviously, one of the two must be lettered because, well, they got letters from them. So, so he does seem to be being evasive about that.
But I don't know how to push that any further without revealing that I went through this stuff.
Right. Okay. Back to the farm.
Down on the farm.
Down on the farm. So Edward and Walt, you hop
We're
on your
riding up
horses,
to
I
the-
guess.
Yep.
Yep.
Or, well, Walt, I guess you were already on your horse.
Yeah, I was.
It's fairly dark at this point, so though you know where you're going, you probably still want to light up a lantern or something.
Sure. I've got one.
Okay. And Walt, do you light up a lantern as well, or
Yeah. I don't have anything special. I just have a average lantern.
average lantern, not a bullseye, but just something to broadcast some light, so you know when to bounce when the horse hits a dip, so you're not jangling your back too hard, that kind of thing.
Sure.
It's not a long ride, but you're taking it relatively slow just because
we don't want to make any horse riding skill rules.
Okay, yeah, that would be a meta way of saying it, but yeah.
Yeah, that is meta.
And 15 odd minutes later, you're basically riding the horses at the equivalent of a brisk walk if you were walking.
Sure.
So call it 15, maybe 20 minutes later, you get up to the big farmhouse, the farmhouse that you first showed up at, Dr. Trout's estate, farmhouse estate, whatever.
Trout house.
I like to call it the gang's hangout, but
House of Trout.
and
Welcome to the House of Fun.
nothing seems out of place
Is
as
there
you
a note
approach.
tacked to the door?
You do not see anything tacked on the door, but you do see it's literally there is a message written on the door.
Okay. Well, I assume there's steps, so we probably need to dismount to get up and check it out personally.
Yes, that's correct.
All right. So I will carefully dismount and
Me too.
yeah, and we are gonna go. Well, we don't have crap for. Well, kid was here. It's not like we're gonna track. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna go out and check that somebody wrote on the door, see what it says. What it's written in, and try to
Okay.
go from there. See what it says precisely.
I will send it to Edward, and I will send it to Walt.
Wow. That's creepy.
Oh, what the? that is not the note that sent the kid over to look for the doctor, unless the doctor's in a lot of danger right now. But I think the kid's
That's
on
not
the
what the
up.
kid said it was at all.
Yeah. Does it look? All right. First of all, I'm gonna take out my pen. I'm gonna take out my pad, and I'm gonna very carefully copy and write it as closely, precisely as I can.
Yeah.
S.
Try not to get hypnotized this time, Walt.
And it is written in sort of a scraggly style handwriting with um, hmm. Since it's done in just sort of a soot, it's not like finger paint, but it's kind of finger painty, right? But with soot, right?
Perhaps it's charred body.
So maybe somebody took a chunk of
Charcoal.
fairly
or
burnt
something.
wood and was kind of doing it this way, kind of thing.
Okay.
Now the kid did say that he was concerned because he knew it wasn't the doctor that wrote the note, and he was concerned about the poor
Grammar. He mentioned
grammar and such.
Okay, so presumably this is like an etch a sketch board, and the kid had a different note, and when he took off, it in fact, I'm going to look around. Does it look like any other writing has been smudged out or has been written over any other? I'll even pull up my magnifying glass and take a really careful look.
Do a spot hidden, please.
Wait, is that a 30 or a 50? No, let me check my spot hidden. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It's going to be close because I'm going to spend 5. So, yes.
Okay.
65, look. So,
Looking
yes,
real
I make it.
close, kind of bringing up your lantern, kind of as close for you. You lay your hand on the door. It feels like a normal door.
Thank God. I'm like,
yeah, wait a second.
he's gonna have a phobia. He's gonna be like,
Phobia of touching doors.
no, get the door for me.
It's gonna suck. Do the swinging doors count in saloons? Start self-doubting. But anyway, and yeah, you can tell that something was smeared off. So it's got a residue of the same sort of charcoal. It almost just looks like sort of a smeary dirt spot at this point. But
if I meta speaking, had I made a really good roll, maybe I could have read a few of the words. I could have got to learn a little more. But since I barely made it, yes, we are pretty safe to that whatever wrote on here, erased the message, wrote poorly for the boy, and then wrote us a message which we have now copied. But
Can I decipher anything if I look at it carefully?
yeah, you see what you make of it.
So you're gonna also
Yeah.
closely examine?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and also roll a spot hidden.
Oh no, not at all.
No, okay.
It's like,
and
it's getting
no.
late.
But that's okay.
Okay, well, we said we don't stay. It took us 15 minutes, so unless
well, and 10 minutes for the spot hidden, so now you're 25
True.
minutes in.
Okay, so I'm gonna go, and I'm just gonna see if I can make a lesson if there's anyone around, or because
Okay.
unless something seems out of place, I think we need to get on the road back. But I thought I'd stop, and I kind of like motion to be quiet and make a listen roll, see if I hear anything unusual.
Go ahead and roll.
Oh no.
No. Okay. Outside of standard sort of wind through a bit of trees, rustling of croplands in a light breeze, maybe a little bit of I don't know, crickets and stuff like that. The occasional bat flapping around, starting to do hunting because it's warm enough finally for bats to start hunting for mosquitoes and stuff like that. That's about it that you hear. Normal background hinterlandy noises.
And can I just say, the dulcet tones of your voice to that microphone are just really popping. Is
I'm
that
hoping
new,
this
the
is an
microphone?
improvement over a
It,
previous
oh
microphone.
yeah, it is. It is. It's like, all right. So did you go by Ed or Edward or Eddie or Aces?
Whatever you like.
Okay. All right, Aces. Let's I'm just kidding. We'll call you Ed.
Not that.
I like one syllable, Ed. Well, you seem distinguished. We'll go with Edward. Edward, but we probably should hit the road. Get back to town because Doc might already be delivering a baby by
agree.
the time we get
Might
there.
already be slapping the ass and
Yeah, and then the baby too.
yeah, oh yeah.
All right.
What's the euphemism for cutting the umbilical cord? No, no. Sorry.
All right, yeah, let's go back to town.
Okay, you start riding back. Do you
Yes.
keep it at a very normal pace?
Yes, we do because we're so
Yes.
far behind. I don't think it makes sense to push hard. We'll definitely ride together and kind of keep our head, especially if we go past the road. So is there a road that runs directly to the farmhouse, the weird farmhouse?
It winds.
But does it connect to the road that leads? Does it intersect the road that leads to Dr. Trout's southeast estate, or whatever the hell?
I mean when you go down the driveway leading to the quote unquote road, heading back towards Coldwater, there's one or two split offs, but nothing particularly significant that will eventually take you to the primary thoroughfare of Coldwater.
Alrighty, well then we'll just take the most direct route we can at a sober pace, and head back.
Okay, both of you all give me a navigate at
Damn it.
advantage.
I actually have a list. No, I don't. I thought I
You-
did. I have something written. No, that's the big. I will. Let's have 10. God, I'm burning.
I spend 2 luck to get a success.
Okay, good.
Fair
I
enough.
don't.
That was an advantage, so take your best of the lowest roll.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Again, that put me 10 north of where it needed to be.
All right, you have a little bit of hesitancy here and there, but you kind of think about it and kind of mentally picture yourself going the other
Put
direction.
our heads
kind of
together.
thing.
We're
So,
like,
that.
no, Walt, that's wrong. We're gonna go this way.
Yeah, that
Okay.
cross that was to the left going back is going to be to the right, lefty loosey, righty tighty, whatever, kind of things. But yeah, you're fairly certain that you're navigating back the way correctly. And after 2 sort of switch offs and heading back, you start seeing the low lights of the town.
Whew.
You'd be surprised how far even kind of the crappy light back then travels light wise, because there are no other obstructing light sources to.
There's no light pollution.
Yeah, so what little light there is at night outside of moonlight is almost beacon like back in the day.
A beacon sounds good to us because.
Um,
So we will. I mean, unless anything happens, which doesn't mean I'm challenging Aaron. Oh yeah, let's make something happen. We're gonna probably ride directly to the doctor's.
Sure. Okay. All right, Doc, you get into town, and sure enough, you find I won't say a crowd of people, but you find a couple men kind of pacing back and forth in front of your office.
With ropes.
Okay. So I will march briskly in, kick all the men out.
Yeah.
Women can stay, and then
Oh,
we'll
they want to
get
be kicked.
to
They
it.
want to be kicked out.
And we will pull the shades because I don't want anybody
Absolutely right.
Don't mind the
seeing
screams.
discretion.
So most of the men were already outside. So you head into Dr. Gibbs' office, and you properly batten down the hashes, or at least ask somebody to do so. Already, I guess even back then, it was something of a standard thing to do. Get the hot water and bed sheets or whatever. So somebody has done that, not knowing whether that's actually necessary or not. And it appears as though Miss Parker's Mom is there as well, and Mom's probably been through a couple birthings, but um,
It's not,
and I think this will kind of do a fade to Blackie kind of thing. You deliver the
Yeah.
baby. There's no reason to go into any.
Oh, I thought you were gonna make him roll. He's like,
yeah, what a bit. I was like
Particular-
waiting for him to be a dick
damn
like
it.
that. Go, all right, you know,
Uh,
oh yeah, the baby didn't make it. Nice job, doctor. It's like, oh.
Sure, why not? Let's do a medical roll.
No, no,
Oh,
Ah,
Uh,
curse you, Walt.
at advantage.
oh my goodness.
He's actually
Yeah,
nervous.
well,
He's like, oh no.
I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you, Marshall. I got 77 luck. This baby ain't dying tonight. Oof,
He rolls a 99.
40
For you. Okay. All right.
in my medicine.
Um,
So that's actually a strong success.
Yeah, strong success. You take care of that umbilical cord, make a particularly nice knot, clean up things.
His hands were touched by God.
That's right. And the baby
Little
looks
Greaseman
quite
reference.
healthy and happy, as does. Really, back then, it wasn't so much the concern of the delivery of the baby; it was the successive living of the
Sur-
woman.
The survival
Yes.
of the mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to say that the baby's life wasn't important. The odds were fairly good back then that the baby would be born alive, unless there was, complications that happen nowadays, breech birth, that kind of thing. But back then, it was the woman doing the delivering that was more typical to have the issues of surviving through it. But you guide her through, and maybe a little laudanum and all that kind of good stuff that is
Who
done.
doesn't like a little laudanum?
And alcohol everywhere, other types of alcohols to the men, and
Was it a boy or a girl?
uh
50-50.
bouncing baby boy.
Just want to point out, Gabriel is a fine name for a young lad.
That's true.
What? He'll be
Or
beat
Trout.
up-
Although I
he'll-
think Gabriel's probably better than Trout.
He'll be beat up in school.
And
Just
the
like
the
you.
Parkers seem very happy.
Do they
And
pay
with
the
that
fee?
role, it looks like Miss Parker isn't going to need any particular, you keep her, why don't you stay here for a while, make sure everything's good, and we'll let Mom tend to you, and the men folk will be outside, and little water, little whatever, just to uh, keep comfortable, make sure she's okay for a bit before you're saying, and oh, it's getting a little late, time for you to get out.
Is the Undertaker hanging around like,
Yeah.
aw?
And we will nightcap things with a round of cigars for all the
Yeah, that's
for all
right.
the men folk.
You see Mr. Palmer kind of look through the window and look sad and walk away.
Disappointed. No baby sized coffins to do.
That's right. And about 25 minutes later, we'll say you're
Gentlemen of leisure roll into town.
quite literally you're wrapping up, and you're just coming out to get handed a cigar as Edward and Walt show up.
It's about time you fellows showed up.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
Good. I have a note I need to show you. This was written. We go back inside. I'm gonna.
Well, there's people. I mean, the woman's still there, right?
Oh,
She is, but her mom is there, and
Which,
yeah, the kinfolk are surrounding her. They're not going to really talk to you that much.
yeah, exactly.
No. I mean, we can.
And you have your office.
Okay, we'll head back to my office and close the door. Put my
Alright.
lantern away.
well, I was just gonna do it right now. I just sent it to him.
Oh, okay. No, you're bombarded by notation.
Ah,
Pretty strange note.
It's actually I/we. I guess I didn't copy the I at the beginning. Is S for Satan?
Satan?
so
Well.
this was written on the door.
Yes. It's still
So
written
what
on
note?
it.
So what note did the kid see?
Well, Edward and I checked it out, and it looks like whoever basically what it written directly on the door. You know, it looks like charcoal. They wiped it clean and then they added the new note. But remember, the kid said he was a little surprised by the poor writing.
And this was pretty poor writing as well.
Yeah, this is Walt did a fairly decent facsimile of the style, and it does again look like a sort of a finger painting kind of.
So does it look like someone who doesn't know how to do the N's and the R's and the L's, or not the L's, the K's, or is it someone that lacks the motor skills to do it? I would like to use my natural world skill.
Fair
If
enough.
only my wife, the reading specialist, were
Right.
here.
I might have biology. Yeah.
Go ahead and do your natural world skill.
All right. All right, I'm going to burn 3. I mean, hell, what the hell? I'm going to burn 3 luck to get that one over the top.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, I never took education classes. Like my daughter Katie was telling me, she's an art teacher, and she's like, in 3rd grade, you know, like in 1st grade, we're just making sure there's a head and arms and feet when someone draws. But by the time they're in like 2nd, 3rd grade, she starts explaining, you're looking at the proportion and the length of the fingers compared to the, you know, and it was fascinating listening to my daughter tell me about all these, you know, like child development things that she knows as an art teacher that she learned in school. It's like, well, that's fascinating.
That's
I don't
pretty
know any of
cool.
that crap, but I know, you know.
I'm sorry,
So-
I think I nodded off.
So like, you know, do the K's look consistently? Do they look the same, or do they look like they're just badly scrawled because someone can't?
Like
Um,
childlike.
You'd say that you'd almost guess that whoever wrote this might be suffering from some sort of palsy.
Okay.
because they're dead.
Right?
Or
Or
they're
their
Possibly.
fingers are actually burnt sticks because they're a scarecrow.
That's what I was thinking.
Or
they
it's
have no opposable
Satan.
thumbs.
Well, anyway, this is what we found on your door, and it was. We didn't, you know, we're not trackers, but we didn't see any signs of disturbing.
So was there another note left on the door that was wiped away and then replaced by this?
Yeah, it kind of looked like the equivalent of an anti-version of if you wrote something on a chalkboard with chalk and then erased it with a not particularly clean eraser, so it was just sort of a big smudge. So, you know, you got some cleaning up to do of your door.
So
Left it. We didn't.
the guy that
didn't
died
disturb
was
it.
Strauss, right?
Yes.
Or the guy that's missing is Strauss. Not
Yeah, the guy that's missing is Strauss. That's correct.
Could be Swearinger.
You need to turn the light on. Turn the light on.
So one thing, Edward, we could do is if there's any document, if there's any like title with his signature on it, see if maybe the S.
Yeah, that could be.
Something to look at next, maybe tomorrow. That's odd, and kind of. I don't. What if you don't want to be kinship to something? I would prefer not to be kin. I think I would live in town. You guys can stay in the ranch. That's cool.
Oh, you're
Like,
kissing
it's
cousins.
right next door to Creepy Town.
still have to check that out.
Unfortunately, my ranch is East Creepy Town.
All right. So,
Right. Well, yeah. You're.
So Edward or Doctor, does this who? Any guesses who's the killer? Who's use of pronouns and soul to rest, holy peace, bring us down. So do you know what any of this means at all? Do you have any idea? Hints?
Oh yeah. So Walt, you weren't in the place with us, so it looked like that house looked like. We didn't go in the basement. We can do that when there's more of us.
Okay.
Especially with those wooden slat stairs.
Looks like somebody just did.
Oh, you mean
not
the
just
kind of
be a
stairs that
chick.
someone can grab your ankle from behind? Or, you know,
Yeah,
that's a dick
yeah.
move, keeper. You know?
Or that's the old. That's the. Oh, did he notice this missing step? Oh,
So I mean, that house looked like it had that peculiar burnt wood smell throughout the entire house. Every drawer, every closet you open, every wardrobe you opened, it was the same burnty smell. It wasn't like there was a burn, you know, and there was no scorch marks on anything. Everything looked pristine, no dust. I mean, hell. Well, you know, put my finger on my cabinet and show you the dust that's there. I mean, you know, 2 days go by, there's dust on things, unless you've got a housekeeper, a team of housekeepers.
and who leaves? I mean, I didn't go far into the house, but I mean,
There was
the
no-
furniture was so sparse. It didn't look like anyone lived there, just based on
was
what I
no-
saw.
Yeah, it was like a hotel room. It was like a hotel where it's all made up, but there's nobody living there. There were no rat turds no mice turds on the ground. There was no food in the kitchen at all. No crumbs on the counter. even in the corners of the drawers. Just peculiar, way too clean, just not sterile almost. With this, but not because of the smoke. And the only thing we saw that looked like anybody belonged there, I found there's a bedroom with a bed with two for
Was the
two.
master bedroom had the
And it had two sets of clothes in the drawer
Yeah.
in the wardrobe. One was like a suit, like a Sunday suit, and the other one was a wedding dress. And Edward, you found something in the pockets, right?
yes, yes, gold lumps could have been rings at one point, melted.
Yeah, when you think about it, the if you mentally compare it to what you had found in the pockets versus, say, gold nuggets, right? Gold nuggets are very sort of three-dimensional, right?
Right.
These would have been more akin to,
Like a pancake.
yeah, like a gold bullet being fired at an armored plate, so it was kind of squished down, but
Right.
no split. It was smooth, sort of, so yeah, you could probably surmise melted.
And then when
Any-
we went to the room with three beds, like a children's room, we found three slugs of brat. Were there any clothes in there, or was it just the slugs?
You didn't
Jeez.
see any clothes now.
What do you mean slugs? Like
It's like a slug of metal, or like a flattened. Yeah, like kind of like if you'd fired a bullet at a metal strong box.
I
and
try
it
a
just kinda
certain
flattened
skill
pancaked
that
against
not
it.
everyone might have, Aaron, but I do a little bit.
Metallurgy.
Yeah, hold on.
Intelligence.
It's not bravery, that's for sure. That's the skill that you lack.
Yeah, well, apparently you ran out of fortitude before you went in the basement. My f-
Yeah. I went in
You're
about
like,
10 rooms. I went in
let's
about
see.
10 rooms. You went about a foot into one. Okay.
Well, yeah. Like I said, I got infected with the heebie-jeebies.
So we didn't, like I said, we didn't go in the basement, but I thought the number of metal
I need
I
to
thought the
spell this
number
out
of
to the
metal
keeper.
bits
Yeah,
was-
I'm thinking what journalism? What?
I thought the number of metal bits matching presumably the people that live there was very, very it just was. That's when we started to get the creeps, and it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
time to leave.
This is sort of like collectively everything we've heard.
Sure,
Aaron, did
go
you
ahead
get
and
that?
roll.
I mean, you never know. Oh no. Forget. Bad idea.
Don't worry about
And
that.
so
I don't have enough points. I don't have enough luck.
so I'm kind of curious, and Edward, maybe we can find out a little more about Mr. Strauss. Was he
Sure,
married?
try.
Did he have a family?
3 children.
Or did someone who lived there before him, were they married with a family?
Well,
And the chicken coop had no chickens. Didn't even have feathers in it, did it?
Nope, didn't even have
No.
poop.
It's just odd. I mean,
Now
you know,
you recall, Edward, that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Mr. Strauss definitely had a family.
Yeah.
You don't recall like the kids' names or anything, but
he's the lucky guy, right?
Not
yeah,
so
he's the lucky man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think
He
he's
did
so
have
lucky.
a family.
And you know where he's married. Of
So
course, most people
one
would
thing I
be.
will say about this whole town, this is not St. Louis. This is not Baltimore. This is every
course it's not
place we go.
We're
There's some
civilized in Baltimore.
everywhere we go. There's some mystery or odd thing, or
It's almost like there's
dark
a
thing.
reason for it.
It's like
almost
we're in
like
this
it's the
weird
Weird
West or
West.
something. But I mean,
It's like we've gone down a darker trail.
well, I think the thing is every door we open is going to lead to some sort of mystery, and we really got to think about which mysteries do we feel like tackling.
Yes.
And how
You
much time
absolutely
does
do
Aaron
need
have
to
on his
I
hands?
don't need, look, we just want somebody to dynamite up the mine, right? And all of a sudden there's a giant, I don't really even know what's happened with that. So, but I mean, it's just like we got to pick our fight. We're going to right wrongs and solve problems. Let's pick one at a time.
Well,
Would be my
speaking of wrongs and problems, the boy was it Silverman? He did give me a note that Al Swearinger said he had some free information for us that might be interesting. We just came directly here.
What time is it? Is it?
Oh, you're probably now. Let's see here. 8:30 at night. Going up on
Al may
9?
not even come down yet.
So I would not be averse to going over there and having a couple drinks while we talk to him. It's been a long day.
Okay, you all head over to the Gem Saloon. Over at the mine.
Okay, so that was my opinion. Other people, I'm not telling everyone else what to
Oh
do.
no, I
I'm
mean he
sorry.
gave me the note. I'm gonna bio break, so go for it.
Okay, let's.
So
I
it's
figure,
fine.
I
So
figured
you've talked with Matt some. He briefly suggested cards until he found out that Gustav was maybe a bit of a shark.
Go fish.
As it gets past dark, it was dark when he showed up.
Yeah.
But as much as you might have some sort of questions about him, he does look tired.
Well, I will ask him, point blankly. So, is it all right if we just bring our bedding in and crash out here in the living room? I guess.
Oh, sure, yeah. That's perfectly fine.
All right.
You do notice. Actually, give me a. The keeper is forcing you into a spot hidden roll.
Okay. Ooh, 26 out of 73.
What was the roll?
A spot hidden roll. Sort of you notice this roll. Gustav, if you'd like to roll.
I didn't hear what it was. I'm sorry.
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Okay. Ooh. Oh. I'm gonna burn 2 luck, and I'll have it. 47 out of 45.
Okay. He pretty much gets up and you get the impression he's kind of mentally preparing for bed, kind of thing, and you notice a couple things. One, evidently he goes through a bit of a ritual, and so as he's kind of heading towards the hallway again, he taps on the kind of large battle axe that I described earlier, and then he taps on the big blunderbuss as he heads down the hallway. The second thing that you both notice is on the small table that is in there. There is a little notepad, which I don't want to say jokingly, but it just says on the top, poker. It's just a notepad.
So is what he was kind of planning in his head. I will go out and get my bedding off my horse because it's probably with the saddle.
Oh yeah. All your
Yeah.
stuff like that would be.
I figure both Gustav and I will have to go out and get our
Gear
saddlebags and get our our bedrolls and bring that back in.
For a second, I thought you had Gunhead playing in the background.
Wouldn't that be nice to actually have it on a screen that big? And I figure
I have a really good copy of that now. I got.
Oh, you have a good copy of it?
I have it on Blu-ray.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
I did not know it was put on Blu-ray.
A limited release. I don't know if it's still even out.
Oh,
But
I always find these things out too damn late.
we can make arrangements.
Yes. I know nothing about what you're talking about. And once I get the stuff back in, I'll sit down and I will, of course, clean my guns, sitting at the kitchen table and clean my guns.
Okay. Good stuff.
And then after cleaning the guns, then I will
retrieve
go to
your
bed.
stuff too from the horses and
Yes. Let's. So is he already in bed at this point, or is he still sitting at the table?
he's retired to his bedroom.
I'm gonna discuss in a low. So we're cleaning our guns at the table. I'm gonna discuss in a low voice with Vance what we found in the book, as well as his response. So what do you think? What do you think when he said, when I asked him about getting copies made, he kept changing the subject?
I didn't really detect much. From where I was sitting, I couldn't really read them.
He's also kind of an old dude, so you know.
That and I rolled a 76. So.
Yeah, so you might kind of attribute it to, you know, hey, it's an old codger, you know. I mean,
now I will admit that the documents back in that room were definitely, while the paper was aged, the ink was all the same ink. And
Now, is it
like the handwriting
possible?
was all the same hand?
Is it possible we're being paranoid and it's just a copy? Maybe it's not the originals. Maybe somebody hand wrote a copy of the originals on some old paper.
Yeah. That's a possibility.
I want to read too much into it, but I'm still not quite sure we're getting the full story.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. I am kind of interested. Not 100% sure if I wanna, but I am kind of interested in seeing this cavern. Ain't never seen a cavern.
no, they're quite rare, especially out in the Midwest.
As much as I got a disturbing feeling about, the mine and everything else.
Do you think that's
way
a
that
good
they
idea that we should go out there?
laid things up? I don't think he's a threat.
What if he's not the threat? What if he's
Then we
hiding
just wait.
something else?
Oh, well, everybody's hiding something.
Hmm.
Everybody's got some sort of dark pony in their back pocket. I haven't told you all my
What if
secrets.
he's got a literal dark horse in his back pocket?
Well, we got a dark horse somewhere out there.
Speaking of, when's the last time we saw that thing? How long's it been since we've
It'll
seen
catch
that
up.
thing?
It hasn't gone.
But
So do you want to
Yeah, I'm
sleep
not-
in
I
chips, or do you think we're good to sleep?
oh, I think we're fine. If you're feeling a little bit nervous, heck, we can just put a chair up against the door.
Mhm. I don't want to have to explain that if he wakes up before us.
Are you a light sleeper or a heavy sleeper?
I'm kind of a scream sleeper.
Oh,
You'll find out.
I will,
I've
look at the
noticed- I've
door.
noticed
Is there
Lost always
a
stays
lock?
as far away from you as possible?
Is there even a lock on the door?
Nope.
Sure it is. Just in case there's any walking around.
Oh, you mean like the front door, the exterior door?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because he had mentioned that they had some walking around before.
Gotcha.
So just to
Yeah.
make sure no come up.
well,
Over
actually, you
something?
do see on the inside of the door, the sort of L-shaped metal brackets that you can put a 2x4 behind.
Oh,
So it's a bracing
do
more.
I see the block for the brace?
Yeah, it's propped up in corner.
Oh, okay.
It looks very rarely used, but it's there.
I'll put it up there just in case, and if he asks, I'll just be like, look, we came across a bunch of and you said you had encountered them too. So We just wanted to make sure that we slept unhindered.
Sure, it's on your mind, you know.
Yep, it's on my mind.
You know, sorry we boarded up your windows as well.
Board up all the windows. Put spike traps out front. And I guess we'll just turn in.
Okay, yeah, the standard precautions.
Yeah.
Okay, bedroll out. Fireplace is, haven't fed it terribly recently, but it's burning, keeping the room rather warm.
I'll throw a couple bits more in it before we turn in. That way it burns a little bit more.
All in all,
Lasts
sort of
longer.
a nearly a pleasant setting, cozy,
Sandalwood.
romantic. No, okay.
I'm ready to roll, pal.
And yeah, you head off to bed unless you're whatever, staying up to read anything or something along those lines.
Didn't really bring anything to read, and we left all the reading material tucked away back in his cabinet.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's true. So Vance, give me a power roll. Gustav, give me a power roll at advantage.
$70 out of 75.
Okay.
Not exactly a vigorous success. If that matters.
And
Not the good successes I've had.
how are we doing there, Gustav?
Well, they were both not good. My best was 76 out of 65, so a significant failure.
Okay, fair enough.
The other one was in the 80s.
Right. You all fall asleep almost quicker than normal. Gustav,
All right,
while you're
dead
sleeping,
things.
But do they dream?
one nice thing is you actually have a dream, which you haven't had for a while, and any ill effects that I've told you in the past, insofar as fatigue and such like that.
But didn't I fail? Isn't 76 out of 65 a failure?
You did fail your roll, yes.
Okay, just check.
But you actually get sleep, and you don't even have a nightmare.
That's almost more alarming.
You sleep soundly, contently. Gee, this is a great place. You feel more at home here than you have in almost anywhere since you grew up as a child.
That's not suspicious, all right?
And
behold the power of sleep.
That's right. And Vance, when you wake up before Gustav. You were expecting this whole scream thing and all that kind of stuff, but you wake up and Gustav's still there. He's sleeping. He's
sucking my thumb
in his sleep. He's not pitching a tent or anything, but he appears to be very to where you're like, okay, I don't know what this whole sleep
Screaming thing is, yeah.
Whatever.
That's a sleep terror. That's pretty nice.
It's like,
sign me up.
If that's terror, And Gustav, you wake up, you feel great. You feel, this is one of the better mornings you've had in a long time. It was
my dad.
No, you're up. Matter of fact, you all both woken up a little bit before Mr. Brady has, but we'll switch back. So you guys head into the Gem Saloon.
Yes, we do.
The Gem is just kind of firing up. The Joplin and the Entertainers playing in the piano, and there are poker games abound, and some faro, and a little bit of craps. Drinks are being poured, and people are having upstairs fun in the cribs. What would you all like to do?
First thing I think I'd like to do is kind of go over if Dan's out and
Sure,
say hi,
Dan's
say hi to Dan.
always kind of lurking near the bar, if not actually serving as bartender.
Come on, I'll say, hey, Dan. Any news?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm all right. It's good to be back in town. Our doctor friend had to deliver a baby, so we came back a little earlier.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, another boy. So they sent out the Silverman kid. He tracked us down, and Al left us a note. Said he had something he wanted to talk about. Before we go visit him, I'd see if there's anything you know about that before I go in there. He's good mood, bad mood.
Oh,
News to you?
he seems in a pretty good mood. Looks like he's he was talking to me about setting up a new commission.
Making keep improving the town, huh?
Well, it'd be certainly an improvement for us.
All righty.
And he kind of smiles with a
Knowing look.
a gleam in his eye.
All right.
You know the look of a man who's thinking about money.
Well, it's a good look. It's a little early for Al, but is he available? You think?
Well, he sent you a message, so I'm pretty sure. Let me go up and check real quick.
Well, I know. It's only 9 o'clock. It's kind of early for Al to come downstairs. So anyway, you just let him know we're here. That'd be great. Thank you so much, Dan.
He heads on up, and you see him ascend the stairs, hangs a right, quick left into Al's office, and 30 seconds later, steps back out and gives a fairly loud finger whistle and kind of gives you a wave up.
By the way, Gustav's back. He's reclining.
Always reclining.
You're always reclining. You're in decline. He's thinking of how good that sleep was, and even though it wasn't him. All right. Well, I guess the three of us should. The note was for all of us, so I guess the three of us should go up.
All right.
Motion to Dr. Trout and Goose. Oh, not Goose. You're not there, right? It's Edward.
Edward.
I was so thrown by his reclining, I forgot where I was. All right. Well, Edward, have you met Al Swearinger already?
I don't think so.
Certainly in passing, when you've went in for a drink or two, you
Sure.
certainly know of him. You know that he's got his fingers in a lot of different businesses in one way, shape, or form.
And you don't want to piss him off.
You know that he's got hired people. You know that he was instrumental in founding Coldwater many years ago, and has been, although perhaps maybe declining in power a little bit, for a long time he was the absolute go-to person for pretty much anything that was going on. But other players and other businesses moved in that also carry influence and power. Certainly when the railroad came in, power dynamics changed as well some at that point. But he's still sort of big man on campus. He's not necessarily the only big man on campus, but he's still a major player.
Edward, let me introduce you to him. I don't really know him too well. I'm more friends with Dan. You may have seen I was talking with He's kind of
Yes.
a right-hand guy. But anyway, let's go. We'll head up
Okay, you
to
have
Swearinger's
by the
office.
way, you're a little quiet on your mic.
Sorry. Well, let's head up.
Yeah, that's a little better, just like that.
All right.
Yeah.
And like I said, let me introduce you, Edward. And
Sure.
generally, a good idea to let Mr. Swearinger do the talking.
Dan kind of props the door open for you, and Doctor and Walt, you see Al much as you've seen him often in the past. He's sitting on his swivel office style chair behind his relatively large desk, already with a bottle of whiskey out, and seemingly knowing how many people would be there. Dan probably told him 4 shot glasses, and as you step in, he's just finishing railing off the top of the glasses to the edge.
I like his
Yeah.
style.
Looks up, gentlemen, take a seat.
Thank you, Mr. Swearinger. By the way, this is Mr. Edward Tillingast. He's a new friend of ours, and we think he might be a valuable friend to you.
Well,
He's got
any
a.
friend of these fellows is definitely a friend of mine.
All right. Well, we
Welcome,
will.
Edward, if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
We will. We will
Please.
take our seats.
Have a drink. I understand there's some cause of celebration. Brought a new life into the world, did you not, there, Mr. Trout or Dr. Trout?
Well, yeah. Well, we're happy that mother and child are both healthy and well. But
Future voter.
it's been a long
Male.
day. It's been a very long day.
So I'm gonna.
Everything
drink-
went well, though.
Yes, of course. Yeah, we
Wonderful news. Wonderful news.
Well, Mr.
All right,
Swearinger, if you don't mind me saying, I did get your note. The Silverman boy brought it over. He tracked us down, and he said you had some information for us. But should we drink to something first? You seem in a lively mood tonight.
Just the life of a new baby child.
Good enough. Knock it back.
And he knocks it back. Just thought you'd find this interesting.
I'll
So-
sit forward in my chair.
A
All
runner
attention.
came in this afternoon. We weren't able to track you all down, but I thought you'd be interested to know. Came from Etna. Evidently did a little bit of dealings with with the bank. Not your bank, but the active bank. From my understandings, the dealings was directly with Mr. Hubbard. But it didn't have anything to do with the bank. No. Understand the words Mr. Elks and something of a rare prize that typically Peyton holds on quite dearly to himself, but was persuaded to part with it. He let his ether lamp be taken down to Etna. All courtesy of some fellow named Elks.
Is Elks out of character? Is Elks the Mason, the Masonic guy that's in the Etna?
At least that's what he told you.
Etna's the town where the mine was, right? Well, which mine?
Yeah.
And Elks is okay. All right.
I was thinking it was the town where pretty much everyone was killed. So I was like, whoa, wait a
No,
minute.
that was I don't remember the name of that one.
That was the town of Wirt.
Wirt. Yep.
Ghost town of Wirt.
And I think that's where we're going to leave it for the evening.
All righty. I'm glad we got to play. We got a lot.
Yeah.
Had some good times.
Got more done than I thought.
And Carl gets the first half an hour